Collective back at it with another live stream and yet another message. Here's the sitch, right? General collective message, maybe some aspects of it high key resonate, and others you're like, what? Right? That's cool. If it doesn't fit, let it sit. Seriously, you guys. Definitely utilize your intuition. It trumps any and all reading, as well as any and all reader. All right. So definitely don't have it duct taped, gagged, and bound anywhere, right? You're to be utilizing and making besties, as it were, out of your intuitive nature, intuitive giftings. Okay. And we all have them. So please act like you know that much, at least, so you can really action out some beautiful things up ahead in your path. And I'm here, grateful as ever, to talk about, for some, maybe not all here, with a little bit more specificity about some of that beautification. Again, just around the corner, just around the bend. And today we are talking business, all right? And here's the sitch. This pesky card, and dare I say energy, is really in current energies again. Gotta talk, because we gotta straighten that crown, whoever you all are, excuse me. And of course, it is a general collective. So it may seem like I'm talking solely to you. You're included. Nobody's trying to leave you out. Love and light, Devin. But it is a general collective. And again, be mindful to use that intuitive nature that you already do carry, right? You've got to honor it, though. And sometimes, you guys, this is why we come on here and talk about just that. So you get good at it. You don't really have to think or try so hard to just automatically perform out of that intuition, right? Whether it's simply and or solely a decision that you're being asked to make, or you're needing to make, right? Or whether it's regarding other people, other places that potentially currently have access that maybe you've got to take a second look at, should they, right? And of course, you're not being called into reclusivity, right? To live out, the rest of your days as literally and solely a recluse, right? But however, and we do have to talk about this again during today's session, there are some aspects of the path where it just behooves you best to kind of like, scale it back a bit, referable to the socializing, referable to even the collaboration, even in the realm of business. Hear me out, because oftentimes you are next in line, as it were, to receive some divinely guided inspiration that really could assist you with making millions. So serious, you guys. So when you look at it for what it truthfully is, right, that sacrifice of, maybe stepping out way less, right, that sacrifice of not running to go tell that, and by that I mean your next steps and your blessings and your hopes, dreams, and aspirations, right? Maybe you've got to balance some aspect to the way that you've been operating, referable to maybe some or all of the things that were just mentioned here recently in the channel, the channeling, okay? Because I'm looking at the Temperance card as well as the Two of Pentacles, which is on the bottom of the deck here. All right. And of course, before we even get there, we've got to talk about this pesky Eight of Swords type of energy. This is definitely connecting to the throat chakra. Somebody here has something, stuff, okay, to say, and you're being asked to honor that, okay? Spirit is saying, through the universal ways that it uses, and it uses all kinds, all right? We've got this message that I've been sitting on, right? And it says, this is your day. Expect great results with those ongoing works. So whoever is connected to this message today, though it is a general collective message, right? The caveat here is that you've been building, you've been moving and shaking, you've been intentioning certain aspects, and again, connecting to business, all right? Now, I do see who all I'm reading for, okay? Not just one person, but not to say it does not include you, sir, ma'am, sis, bro, Bob, right? We've got warrior coming out, warrior energy, as well as king energy, indicating you do have the ability. Yes, you do. As well as the strength to overcome any challenges in life in general, as well as, of course, business. And that you are on the mark, as it were, irregardless of what it may look like, sound like, feel like, smell like, right? You are very much on the path towards rewards, yes, but also towards your desired outcomes, right? Which are just as important. How many times have you worked through a level, measure of disappointment, collective. This ain't that, okay? It may seem like it, may seem like you're stuck in some form of residual energy. And I need you to know, if that's you, especially connecting to this message, you really got to check in with that mental, right? I'm not calling you mental, I'm saying check in with the mental space, because guess what? Eight of Swords is kind of out you here. You're all up in it, right? And it's not giving a good time, is it? It's getting a little bit dizzy. Maybe need to sit or lay down and breathe a lot more, right? And deep. Okay. So there's that, because the whole time, high key, you are next in line for wish fulfillment. I mean, I'm literally looking at, you want to talk about divine breakthrough assistive energy, the Ace of Pentacles. Don't you want that just in general, but especially when dealing with wishes fulfillment, referable to business, referable to, what you've been building, perhaps, right? What you've been intentioning. Okay. And so I'm speaking to someone who is a born leader and commander of sorts. Okay, now this could be connecting high key to the spiritual realm and the communities within those. I don't even want to say it like it's just one realm, right? Dimensions and ish, otherworldly stuff. Of course, hello, hey, hi, you found the channel. Makes sense. That would resonate. Makes sense. I'm speaking about it, okay? And whatever else you're getting into and or building definitely has to do with your talents, skills, and abilities. All right, you are a creator. You are a creative. You are here to help see others to a new light, a new perspective, perhaps, okay? To perceive even a new dimension. Makes sense. New earth energy. Hello, hey, hi. We're actively creating it. Welcome, thank you, and congratulations, right? A deeper way of encountering what perhaps we already do know, but a deepening of that sense or sensibility of what we already know, of what we've already experienced, okay? Again, this is no doom and gloom message talking about, oh, so sorry about your luck and your whole entire business. You're stuck here. And period, end of story. No. All right. So if you're fighting through, and I'm not saying I don't understand, I don't get it, why maybe you may have to really give an affirmative answer to the question, are you fighting through this, right? But if and when you should find yourselves fighting through that mental space energy, okay, you got to know, guess what? At the end of the day and at the beginning, you're in charge. At the end of the day and at the beginning, you are actively co-creating with source, life force energy. Okay. You're already born out of it. Makes sense. There's no severability between you and divinity. So now that you know that ultimately, irregardless of whether or not you always and always get your wishes fulfillment, hear me out, that ultimately you came here to win. Basically have already won. You're just aligning to that truth of the matter. Okay. And we talk about all the time, in case anyone didn't realize, how the truth can definitely damn sure be the truth just as ever, just the same. And high key, often people aren't aware of it, okay? Doesn't make it untrue, right? So now that you're catching these truths, which feel like 24 karat gold, not the plating even, all right, as far as quality here, truths like you are divinely assisted, truths like breakthrough energy for you, for your business, hell, even for your mental space and your throat chakra is just around the corner. Will you honor it by allowing yourselves to align with it? And by it, still going back to that truth of the matter. See how that works? All right. I'm speaking to someone who is a physical empath. I just got chills. You could always find yourselves receiving same. Chills are a very intuitive indicator, okay, that we are blessed to experience, right? Sometimes the chills are a confirmation of truth being spoken about and or received, okay? Other times chills can be a physical indicator of an abundance of divinity being present in that moment, in those moments, all right? But this also speaks to someone here in the collective, especially if you're already resonating with this, really having the ability to feel symptoms of others' ailments and bodies, right? Like you could literally be walking or driving down the street and you look over and you see somebody and maybe they've barely got a limp, but man, you can tell exactly which hip is making them limp that limp. And again, it's not because of the physical appearance of the person or the gait of the person being so off kilter. It's just a knowing. It's an intuitive sensibility, right? It's intuition. And along with being a creator, also speaking to artisans in the group here of the collective, all right, skilled craft workers who make and or create material or objects partially or entirely by hand. So Etsy comes to mind, right? Maybe you're already on there selling, and or maybe you should be. Okay, take what resonates here. But intuition for the win, you guys. You're too intuitive to not get this. Too intuitive to not win, right, at this. And by this, I guess going back to that game of life series or scenario, right? Manifestation, you are actioning out, beautifying your path up ahead, right, with your intuition, with your spiritual guidance, okay, and your powers of manifestation. And whoever I'm speaking to, I need you to know you are definitely resonating with having intended, excuse me, to be doing this. All right, I get this experience or this emotion, excuse me, of exasperation because of that, right? And again, let's talk about it. This is your day, collective, right? Expect great results with those ongoing works. The works are still ongoing. There's no period here. So why are you trying to place one here talking about you failed? At what? Right? Because if and when you do place the period there, let's talk about it, right? You haven't failed, you've just stopped at winning what you want and what you want to receive and experience. And so that's between you and the divine. That's up to you with your free will. But it's giving, you're going to get indicators like even in the physicality as well as damn sure in the mental space. That ain't it, dude. There's no period there. You don't need to put the period there. It's not the highest vibrational timeline and or outcome and experience if and when you should find yourselves trying to place that period there. So please, I beseech you, please don't be that one putting the period there when the divine did not put a period there. If anything, they're asking you to scale back a bit, slow down a bit, take a moment, pause, right? Again, this is not a call to reclusivity for the rest of your days, right? But it is a call to check yourself before you wreck yourself. If this is solely connecting to the mental space energy that is currently underway, and or more, okay? Because quite frankly, you guys, even with the mental space, right, if you're rocking around too long with it just being so off kilter in perception, you're outside of the realm of balance, as it were, and things can get quite toxic, diseased, frightful, horrific. Nobody wants that for you, and you guys are too powerful to not understand the ramifications of really, rocking with the toxicities, regardless of what they may be. I do see that someone here maybe should be scaling back their time at the bar, as it were, and are being asked to sip responsibly. I don't know personally who this may be for, but I am mindful that it has been coming out a few times in a few messages for the collective. So please take heed. Please action out that try again. I get it. Maybe baby steps are needed. Maybe you feel like you're in those baby steps actioning out that you're going back all the way to square one. Don't be that one that tells yourself that. The divine is not of a mindset or ideation or agenda that be the case. All right. So please be mindful of the way that you're thinking and perceiving yourself and your situationships, as well as your business. Okay. Because as you think, especially if you are engaging with feelings while you think of as you think, right? Whether good or bad, whether high vibrational or low vibrational, you shall receive, you shall experience, you shall write home about. Makes sense? So be mindful, okay, that you are in charge. If and when those feelings should come, there are a myriad of ways, and I get it, different strokes for different folks. Okay, today we're going to be talking about crystals with more specificity, referable to assisting you with the mental space, to assisting you with continuing to carry on anyhow in spite of any storms, right? Whether in life in general course, whether in the mental space, the heart space, and or referable to this business or whatever it is, honey bun, that you've been really putting your foot in, kind of thing, right? To action out and to receive and to live out. Okay. And on the other side of you, kind of benching yourself here temporarily just to have a talk, put your coach hat on, get a whistle out your drawer if you gotta, just to make sure you're still paying attention while you have this talk with yourself, as well as the divine, because angelic realm assistance is upon you, around you, very much for you. I mean, you've got the temperance angel coming out. This is major arcana, leading you to more major arcana with the Ace of Pentacles. I mean, literally talking about divine breakthrough assistance. This is why oftentimes, for those that don't know, the aces do depict in general generic course, not every time, guys, right? But some of those more traditionally based decks like Rider Waite will often depict a hand coming out of the sky, because it's like, where is it from? Well, it's from the all in all. Well, it's from the universe. Well, it's from God. Well, it's from Goddess. Well, it's from your higher selves. It's a lot. It's big stuff. It's not something that you blood, sweat, toil, and labor and tear over, okay? And the only way you're tearing over this, honey bun, is joyfully, gleefully, and I stand for that. That's no problem there, right? Tears can be cleansing as well, so they can tend to assist you with balancing energies as well as emotionalities. All right, and this death card, okay? Here's the sitch. Some of you, you know your worth. You've added tax, okay? However, the demographic of your market, your, creative expressions, as it were, maybe isn't in the end stages of really bringing you what I would like to term like brand awareness, or just your existence in the market, in the industry. However, you need the tag words to come out of my face to make sense of this, because I'm talking to different people, and I'm damn sure talking different businesses, make sense, as well as different demographics, etc., etc. Okay. But I do see here that you could actually bode well by having some sort of flash sale, a temporary sale, or just, slashing some of those prices, or slashing prices on some higher ticket items that you normally wouldn't, right? Maybe you do take a little bit of a cut, at least referable to the amount that you intended to pay yourself for your time, as well as perhaps, resources or ingredients, however we need to say this, for whatever you're building, whatever you make, right? Whatever you craft, okay? And there could be some significance to having a 70% off, right? Maybe you have one big ticket item out of the lot and you go, listen, I'll let this go for next to nothing. I'll let this go for cost to create awareness, right? You've got to give to receive. And some will even tell it like this: you got to pay to play, right? I'm of a mindset that we are spiritually wealthy. So depending on what you're talking about, pay for play, I don't know that that's off the cuff necessary and necessarily a mindset that you should engage in. However, utilize your intuition. It's coming through the channeling for a reason, so I'm not unmindful of that as well. All right, but you are being asked with this Two of Rings here to get into some adaptability. All right, this could be simply and solely referable to the mental space. Okay, even in business, mental space matters, right? And mental space assists with making the pentacles, the coin, as it were, right? And so, sometimes, especially when you find there's like repetitive themes to the point where you're fearing and or feeling, perhaps validly so, right? To be trapped in some sort of residual, theme or timeline, where it's like, no, I always get my high hopes up high, and then I always am disappointed because no one ever buys, right? Be mindful, because again, you balancing out what you will tolerate yourselves collective, right? Irregardless of whether you got a business or not, you can get this. When you realize that you're in control of tolerating what rolls around in that dome of yours, okay? And I'm not here to say it like, oh, you'll never, ever, ever think something you don't want. Here's the sitch. Evil eye exists. People are projecting onto you, especially when you're doing the damn thing, especially when you're tapped into your intuition, right? They try it, and it's so funny because it's like, you know what? That's so silly, because once you actually catch on to somebody catching on to their intuitive nature, you should run. You should not, run towards that person to try again. Some of the same old ish, some of the same old lies, some of the same old sob stories, right? Because, hello, intuition, okay? And so being adaptable, even referable to what you'll tolerate out of yourselves here is also coming through. Put that coach hat on, whether you got a whistle to add to it or not, right? And we're talking proverbially here. I'm not actually expecting someone to go into the trunk and literally look for a coach hat. I don't even know what it would look like. Just saying, okay? Just to be clear there. But fluctuation and adaptability is going to bode you well. Perhaps some sort of clearancing out of an item or two or of your stock or a flash sale, depending on what resonates for whatever you're building, whatever you got going on here, honey bun, might actually assist you in getting the numbers that you deserve anyhow, right? Again, going back to that, you got to give to receive. You got to perhaps pay, right? Pay of not necessarily, you know, pentacles, but resources and time come to mind, right? And therein is a bit of a sacrifice, all right? But it bodes you well, okay? This is not a setup for failure by the divine. And you got to realize, connecting back to what we were even talking about as few as a short hours ago, this illusionary, this elusive energy, okay, still swirling about, smoke and mirrors, as the card states. This is kind of giving, you know, even the way this is depicted, it's almost kind of giving what I tend to tap into, referable to current energies, like in the general and generic sense, because of the transits currently, because of that eclipse energy. All right. And some of you have had close encounters, all right, where you know, you really were rocking in the mental space extremely off kilter. My guides are showing me how, like, oh, what is the name of that though? Like, you know, like in the washing machine, like if it's just, I forget that piston spoke thing inside of it, but if it's like off center, it really rocks everything to the point of not being able to function. All right. And that's just a washing machine. Now imagine what it can do when we're talking about your powerful AFRs, right? Rocking with what? Divine life force energy, free will, all right? And, you know, your mental space. And this is why it's really important, just in general, of course, aside from this business collective, right? To make sure you are in charge and you are intending and actioning out, to calm the mental space, to balance out what all ever you are thinking, feeling, and ultimately experiencing. And I say it that way because as you balance the mental space, the heart space, right? As you balance your central nervous system, okay, you are going to live a more beautified path, okay? And that is inclusive of your business. Again, this goes back to what all ever you've been manifesting, okay? What all ever you've been intentioning, all right, to receive and experience and to be, to live out as. And interestingly enough, the first card out of our crystal deck here is that Shiva stone. And I am so sorry, I do not recall which live stream it was, but we were talking about Shiva Lingam as one of the crystals. And interestingly enough, maybe you resonated with whatever that message was. Gosh, I give so many, I'm not exactly sure. I'd tell you if I knew, all right? It's not a gimmick to just watch all the videos. However, if you were of a mind to try to do that, I stand for that, because thank you, and please assist with getting the watch hours up, okay? So I can be on here at much more reasonable hours and for many more. All right, just giving you these free messages. Wouldn't that be great? I know I would enjoy that. Just saying, okay? And Shiva Lingam is basically a stone that you can find in the Narmada River in India. And in Hinduism, they represent the embodiment of the god Shiva, which is known to be, here's the sitch, destroyer of illusion and a transformer. Okay, so this is exactly that kind of energy that you are definitely rocking through and overcoming. That smoke and mirror energy, right? That Eight of Swords, self-imprisonment, mental conflict energy. So definitely check out, you know, whether online or at your local metaphysical shop, however, or the Shiva Lingam, and this is how you would spell it. However, for you, this may be backwards. Gosh, I hope not. But it's fairly inexpensive. And they come in all sizes. Definitely not necessarily different shapes, but different sizes, okay? It is known to be a pretty phallic shaped stone. The next for you collective to come out of the crystals deck was the turquoise. Okay, it says, who needs it? Anyone whose voice has gone AWOL. And maybe you feel like that in these current energies. So again, turquoise would assist you, referable to that mental space, as well as even aspects of the throat chakra. There is some significance to its blue hue coming through to be highlighted, so I'm talking about it. Maybe that's your favorite color, and or maybe this is really confirming that you've got a lot of emotions here, honey bun, to ferret through, because maybe a lot of them aren't even your own emotions to carry. A lot of them aren't even your own emotions to manifest with, right? And so if they're not boding you well, if they're not benefiting, if they're taken and not given, right? You got to walk away from it. You got to cut it out, as it were. And if this is connecting to people, places, and things as well, same deal, all right? Because you cannot be rocking around like, one of those washers that's off kilter, talking about, oh no, I got my crown on straight. Oh no, I know what the path up ahead is. How could you? Because gosh, that's a lot of rocking around. I don't know if you'd be able to see straight. I don't know if you'd be able to think straight. Makes sense? Okay. So fix this. All right. Straighten your crown. You can. This is your day to do it. We've got Shanghai last, but certainly not least, coming out for you, collective, from the crystals deck. Okay. It's a coal-like mineral. And what else do I want to say about it? Found in Russia. Anybody looking to get honest with themselves, okay, you may want to pick up a piece of this and work with it. Again, it's called Shanghai, and I will allow for you to see how that's spelled, even if it's got to be backwards. I'm sure you can find a way to flip it around to get that. And it says where to put it in your water bottle to create Shanghai infused drinking water. You can also meditate with Shanghai and get the good vibes flowing through you like electricity through a neon sign that reads yas, right? So, it definitely assists with good vibes, makes sense. And you can definitely use it to reclaim your energy from whatever and or whomever it's been with. Okay, again, guys, now is the time to heed the call to access denied. Anyone who's solely taken from you, there's absolutely no ebb and flow, give and take. There's no good vibes. It's unrequited love. It's a one-sided perspective. There's no partnering even in business with these energies, dare I say entities. High time you just act like you know that and walk away, right? And there too might be a bit of a sacrifice, but you've got too much going for you spiritually. Okay, spiritual wealth trumps any other kind. So serious, right? So maybe somebody does need to gain some balance through walking away, even from a business partner or a business venture. Okay, and even when you do, all right, as you close that door, all right, you're not going to be caged, you're going to be freed up. Okay, it's kind of like they say, and I know we're talking business, but it's seriously kind of like they say in like the readings where you're dealing with love, perhaps. And I say perhaps because usually these type of encounters or connections aren't literally loving, right? But you know how it's like they say you leave somebody and then ultimately have a glow up. You just do so great on your own, kind of thing. That is an indicator that that energy, those people, and of course the mindsets that you carried about them, just the same, or holding you back, right? Same deal in business. Your business partner is not going to tell you, hey, I'm riding your coattails. I'd like to infuse myself into your wealth and legacy that you're building off of your own blood, sweat, and tears, off of your own divine karmic repercussions, right? They're not going to say that, because then how could they benefit? Makes sense, right? But it is up to your end of things, okay? Because again, you are in charge, that if you should and or when you should find people, places, and things really kind of putting holes in your boat kind of stuff, you've got to be big, bad, and bold enough, because you already are, makes sense, to walk away, to access denied, to sever ties, okay, and allow for the balance to come in so that you can get to the getting on. All right, a lot of pentacles coming out here. Could be some significance to earth placements. I've got mostly pentacles coming out, and I love that, especially because we're talking big business, right? Like the title states. But I do see some evidence of swords energy as well. Libra does come to mind with that one. I'm also hearing Aquarius. Also, you guys, there could be some significance to the state of Texas. Maybe somebody is looking to build, or somebody is located in Texas, because I could not get that freaking song, and I don't even know all the words. But it's like dun 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 dun, deep in the heart of Texas. Do 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 do, deep in the heart of Texas. So I'm like, I don't know, could not. I don't have any ties to Texas that I'm aware of, right? So just throwing that out there, okay. But Shanghai definitely is good to assist you with reclaiming your energy. And looks like you definitely need to reclaim it, but also sift through it and balance it out here. I'm not coming for you. I'm just the messenger, right? And I'm rooting for you just the same, okay? So I'm going to ring the bell in a few seconds here. So get ready. Think of your question. In the meantime, check the description box for the live stream rules, please and thank you. So we don't have to have that talk about how you didn't and how everybody knows and how you're still not getting your question answered, because I can't even answer it because it's not even according to the live stream rules, blah, 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 right? Nobody likes that combo, if I do say so myself. So please check the description box and do all of the prompts, not just one, not just some, please and thank you. And I say that because, again, speaking of karma and karmic repercussions, that's a thing if you're stealing energy through this channel. So get into the spirit of gratitude, because what's up ahead is beautiful. And if it's not, it's because you didn't do your part, right? The divine's not going to do it all for you. The divine's not going to live all aspects of your life for you and strip you from your free will. Makes sense. You should do your part, okay? You are on the brink of discovering perhaps life purpose, perhaps life, next steps, perhaps that $1,000,000 idea, okay? And you are to tenderly embrace yourselves as well as this path, okay? And the reason why that is because guess what? You can embrace the path all you want, but if you're not doing it in a way where you're checked in, present, aware, intentional, grateful, right? It's not really going to be that ultimate highest vibrational outcome, or dare I say, lifestyle or timeline. Makes sense? All right, so keep going. Allow yourselves to release what you find, okay? And it may simply be mental space energy. It may be simply emotions, right? It may be memories. It may be people, places, and things. It may be mindsets about self and others, okay? As you find that certain aspects of them, perhaps I'm not projecting onto you that they all should and that it's all a thing for you, right? But if you should find, okay, when ferreting through to the root of why is this for me now, right? Then you've got to release it, okay? And sometimes, you guys, especially with emotions, right, you've got to feel it, you've got to go through it, you've got to face it to release it. There's really no avoidance that's really giving any kind of answer or any kind of desired outcome, dare I say, okay? Because you are expected with your high intelligent, highly divinely backed higher selves to integrate into this divine matrix, okay? Now, that's not Neo's matrix, right? For those that get that reference, okay? This is really talking about this actively being built new earth energy, okay? And this is really part and parcel of you creating your own version of utopia in spite of whatever else is going on in the world. I'm so serious. You are master manifestors. You can do this. You can get this. You can live this. All right. You are royal divinity. You better act like it so that you live it out like you are and like you know. Right. And so that everyone else knows you know. And so they can't any longer act like they don't know. Make sense? Okay. You are waking the lion. There could be some significance to Leo energy. Doesn't have to be the case, but this is really talking about your higher selves being integrated into this divine matrix experience, right? Some call it an illusion. That's for another day, perhaps. But let's just get to where we're getting for this time, for this aspect of the path, right? And this is really talking about coming into this intuitive awareness where you live out step by step, okay? Really being involved with your intuition, allowing your intuition to work for you, calling on it, calling on your spiritual realm communities, plural, that assist you, okay? Really reflecting back to divinity and ultimately the same divinity you are, the all in all, okay? That universal alignment. And Spirit saying, oh, I've been meaning to tell you for the longest time, collective. Well, concerning the illusions, there's that word again. So serious, right? Do not fall prey to the illusion at this time when you are too blessed and too divine. Makes sense? Um, Concerning the illusions, time and space, the stars at night, the earth under your feet, the oceans, the rivers, the prairies, and everything under the sun, they're all yours. And when I got this card, ooh, I'm vibrating with chills all over. I just went back to that Pretty Woman soundtrack with Roy Orbison, and everything you want, you've got it. Okay. And yeah, universe is really putting you next in line for some breakthrough energy, some abundance energy, some prosperity energy. I don't mind talking about it. I hope you guys are really receiving this so that you actually make it a thing for you, okay? And most don't stop to think, but both having money and not having money make fantastic adventures possible that wouldn't otherwise be possible. So same goes for having and not having anything else. Everyone's a winner in this time and space. In New Earth energy, everyone's a winner, right? Take solace in that, okay? And believe it so that you live out that truth. Hopefully someone's getting this, right? I do see that there are 3 of us in here and only 1 like. I am dropping gems, nuggets, what else? Meat, free game. Please and thank you. Get those likes up there, especially if you're going to ask me for a free tarot reading today. Makes sense. All right. Thank you so much. Especially if you are listening to this message, okay? I don't want anyone here just taking energy. It's a little risky if you do that. So if you can't hit that like, please, all right? I'd advise you, just because I'm loving and lighting you. I'm not a bully. I'm not actioning out that anyone or anything should be harmed or, go through any more than they're already going through. I'm giving you the heads up, all right? It's the best I can do, okay? Really and truly, money just isn't that important. So now, before you have a conniption here, collective, by all means, pursue it, spend it, and roll around in it. But just please don't let it become how the rest of your dreams, goals, wishes fulfillment, all right, business ventures, etc., will be exactly how it comes true. You're being restrictive and operating out of a sense of lack mentality if and when you should find yourselves believing just that, okay? Yes, money is what can make the world go round, as they say, but it's just energy, okay? And you are far greater than that kind of energy. So don't fall for the illusion, even referable to money, you guys, okay? And the universe is saying, I know how your dreams come true, irregardless of whether they are connecting to money or not, whether they are connecting to resources or not, whether they are connecting to your expected outcome or not, right? And you are just to continue on to dream your dreams because they are well underway to fully manifest for you, unless you believe otherwise, right? And you restrict yourself and shoot yourself in the foot kind of thing. Nobody wants that. We want the crown straightened. All right. We've got angelic realm assistance to assist you with just that. All right. To balance it out so that you can wear your crown as you should. All right. On straight and sturdy like. Okay. And don't sweat the competition, and don't allow someone else's indecision, especially those that resonate with having like partners, collaborations, connecting to this business or this whatever you're looking to produce and or get off the ground. Don't let anyone else's anything stop you from the vision that God, that the divine, that divinity is backing you to really see through, right? To really experience, to really become. All right. So I don't see any problems here. Utilize your methods that assist you with, of course, calming the mental space. However, be mindful, band-aids aren't really necessary at this point. So, for instance, we did see evidence of, even with this temporal energy angel, the card states indulging in heavenly elixirs at the bar, but let's not forget the virtue of temperance. Sip responsibly, excuse me, friends, right? And so, if you find yourselves using something like a substance for a band-aid, get to the root of why, okay? Because just simply to tell yourself, well, I just won't do it because, love said we shouldn't do it, because love said the divine said we shouldn't do it. And, right, the more you think about it, the more you're going to want to do whatever the hell that is, whether it's drinking or not, right? So please get to the root. Give yourselves permission to go past the urge, right? To go past the, trigger response, if you will, to get to the root so that you don't have to fall prey to the illusion that the band-aid is necessary. And dare I say, the illusion, just the same, that band-aid is working. Just saying, okay? So you can always find a way to make better use of your time. And of course, that would be outside of any worries, outside of any imbalance, right? And outside of any toxicity and or lack mentality. Makes sense, okay? Because unless and until you kind of really hone in on the anti-energies of that, which is really keeping your faith muscles flexed, all right? Keeping believability in the divine that backs you, as well as your own capabilities when you are also royal divinity, right? Okay. You're not necessarily going to see all aspects or the ripest, juiciest fruit of the harvest that most assuredly at this point is definitely due and owing to you. Okay. And you definitely deserve. So that's why we talk about please, please do your part. All right. Because the divine's not here to live out your own free will. Right. So you do have to do your part, and you signed up to do just that. Okay. And so many more things, so many more pleasant things. And they are really somewhere just around the corner, stamped with your name on it, unless and until you believe otherwise and really miss out. Nobody wants that, okay? If you're still with me, your higher selves don't want that. And of course, the divinity that is within you and the divinity that backs you definitely doesn't want that, all right? So keep going, you guys. Keep those faith muscles flexed, and you got this. The bell has rung. This is the only time for the session the bell will be ringing, so please check the description box, right? I don't want to have to skip over you because you weren't playing by the rules. And, the bell's only ringing this one time. So you see what I'm saying? If there's a window, it's going to close, right? Love and light, Raymond. Thank you for hitting the like, babe. Appreciate you on that. All right, let's see here, Devin. Ooh, ooh. That's a yes, okay. And this is something that is not going to be a lemon. And this is something that, at least when your mom like looks at it or finds it or experiences it, it's like she's gonna know this is, like, how you would say, maybe the family car, or this is my baby, like this is mine, okay? And it will be safe for her to lay claim to it when she finds it, okay? Irregardless of whether or not she's going to the lot, excuse me, knowing what she's looking for when she sees it, is what I'm getting through the channeling. She'll know, and it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a keeper. Okay, so that's a yes for you, Devin. Love and light to you and your mom. All right. If we don't have any other questions, and I don't see any, forgive me, I don't have any moderators on at the moment to double check. You're very welcome, Devin. Much love and light. Then I'm going to hop off and let you get to your day. How's that, right? You guys, do not forget to smile, okay? Do not forget to be kind and loving towards yourselves. Firstly, right? It's not a call to narcissism. It's really a call to assisting the divine with that balance, or dare I say, temperance angel energy, all right? While you are well underway to your next milestone, all right? In life in general, and of course, those resonating with this particular session, as well in business. Ooh, I'm here for it. Much love and light, you guys. Thank you for hopping on. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the energetic exchange. Thank you for those that did click the like. I see it's not everybody. I'm not going to take it personal, but I am going to give you a heads up. I wouldn't make a habit of doing that from now on. Just saying, right? It's the best I can do. I'm not going to get in the way between divinity and their agenda. I'm not here to do that, right? It's not how I got here to deliver messages as well. So there's that. Makes sense, okay? So, you know, hey, be protective of your energy. If you know you're out there in them streets and even in the sheets, just taking energy from people, yeah, wouldn't want to be you. Just saying. All right. Much love and light, you guys. I appreciate you. And if you are truthfully, wholeheartedly part of this collective, please know I mean this every time I say it to you. Much love and light.